What is going on, Ripplers? Welcome to this month's Good Question email, video, both, I guess. I gotta say, one of the things that I just want to acknowledge is how many cool Ripplers we have in our community, how many people are on this list, how many people are in the pond, how many people are part of our paid channels on Substack and Patreon and in the Connect and Grow Ripple coaching program. We just have some really cool people. And the reason I created what I created here is to give people a platform to not just hear what I have to say, but to actually contribute, to actually share their thoughts, to continue the conversation. Because when we are engaged in dialogue, when we come to the table to talk about these things, about how to communicate, how to engage, how to build relationships in an authentic way, how to actually treat people with respect, how to do good in the world, well, that's where the goodness comes in. And that, my friend, is just priceless. And every once in a while, we get in great questions. I mean, not every once in a while, almost every month, I get a litany of great questions. But I don't often quote the source because I don't normally want to put anybody on the spot. But this month's Good Question email, it comes from one of my favorite people, one of the best coaches you could ever possibly meet. And because he put this on a YouTube comment for our kickoff newsletter video on YouTube. It's there for public consumption, right? So this is by my good friend, Greg Riley. Greg said, Steve, I laughed. February is a Hallmark and candy conspiracy is the most believable thing I've heard all week. Also, I'd like to formally file a complaint on behalf of everyone trying to eat clean while chocolate hearts are staring us down. Just because they look at you, Greg, doesn't mean you have to look back. Just saying. And honestly, you can file the complaint with me, but I do not know where to push it up the food chain. I'm just saying. Your complaint might want to go to the next department. Just saying. But the deeper message was strong. Heart-centric connection isn't sentiment. This is what I mean by the great dialogue, the great conversation with people. He says it's leadership. Curiosity creates safety. Empathy creates trust. And values-aligned actions create credibility. Mic drop. That is so good and spot on. So he said, hey, I've got a coach thought. If January was about clearing space, remember we went back and we looked at our network and did a little deep reflection on who we wanted to continue to keep in there for the upcoming year. February becomes about intentional building. And he's absolutely right. Leading with that heart-centric approach. And I really love this theme because it's a perfect complement to what's already going on in February. The question I'd offer is, what relationship deserves my best self this month? This is the question he's posing to you and we're putting out there. What relationship deserves my best self this month, and what would showing up fully look like? I love that. Great question. What relationship deserves my best self this month, and what would showing up fully look like? Greg goes on to say, because ripples don't start with grand gestures. This is the genius of this man. They start with consistency. Amen, brother. Presence. Absolutely. And the courage. You know it, bro. To be direct with appreciation. So he finishes this off. I'm grateful for how you're guiding people, and I'm taking the Call First challenge with me into February. I love this. So the question that he really poses, right, is what relationship deserves my best self this month, and what would showing up fully look like? My answer to this question, and it's a great question, so thank you for submitting it, Greg, is that you will know in your heart and in your gut when you actually connect with someone. When you look, not connect with someone, when you look at them on your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your other social platforms, or you just see their name in your address book on Gmail. Is this somebody that stirs something within me? Is this somebody that I hold in not just high regard, but that I actually have that real special place in my heart for them? And what I mean by that is I actually just did a video, not to promote this too much, but if you're on our paid Substack or Patreon, you'll get a version of this month. I talk about the concept of love and how to use that in our professional business context or in our friendships. Not romantic love, but love in a different mindset. And I think that's what I mean by that, right? When you look at that person, when I think of them, something just clicks, something just happens. There's a chemical change in my body. You kind of pine for the time to get with them. You miss them when they're not there. You immediately reflect or remember what the last interaction was like. That is somebody that just rises to the top, just a little bit ahead of everybody else. And so when you think about that relationship, what is that relationship that deserves your best this month? And what would showing up fully look like? So let's just look at this from a personal perspective. Maybe it's one of your kids. Maybe it's a really close friend. Maybe it's your significant other. How have you been showing up to this point, and what could you be doing differently? And why do you want to put that effort forward? Sometimes we get so caught up and busy that we don't think about these things. We think that people automatically assume, we really care for them, we really love them, that they're really important to us. But how often do we communicate that? How often do we tell them? And it's not just throwing that into a text. That's not just throwing it into an email. It's not just saying it as you kiss someone goodnight. It's actually like holding them by the shoulders and staring in their eyes and telling them how much they mean to you. I think, Greg, that's how it would feel to fully show up. It can be scary and it can be a little bit intimidating sometimes, especially if you're, doing this maybe with somebody that's not your romantic connection. Maybe it's just a good friend. You hug them just a little bit longer. You hold on to that handshake just a little bit more. Or before you guys separate from that lunch, you say, I just want to tell you, I do not take these opportunities to get together with you lightly. I appreciate them so much. I appreciate you for making time to be with me. That's how fully showing up is. And that's how it ends up making that dent in their universe. When you say and do those things, you are casting that stone, you are creating that ripple, and you are doing something incredibly amazing for them. So I love this question. Greg Riley, thank you for posing it. Thank you for sharing it, not only for me to give my riff on it, but we're very curious about what your riff is on it as well. One of the things that has happened in these newsletters is that they go out there and it's like, hello, and nothing comes back. There's no, maybe that was the coming back. I don't know, but that was a bad example. What I mean is we put these things out there and we don't enter into dialogue with it. So start a thread on the pond if you're part of that community. Hit me back with an email or find Greg Riley and say, hey, Greg, dude, I don't know you, but thank you for that question. And here's how I plan to show up this month. And here's who I'm showing up for. We would love to continue this conversation because, these ripples without actual follow through and action really don't land as effectively as they could. And when we do it together and they land collectively, man, now we're doing something. Now we're making a shift. And boy, in this world right now, in this time, don't we need that? We need that energy shift. We need more positivity and more good things happening. So why don't we go out and do it? And let's share the results of our efforts. How about that? So hope you enjoyed this good question email. Thank you as always. We'll put the links down if you want to check out our Patreon or you want to check out our Substack. We do plan to do a whole lot more content over there. It's a little bit more risque. It's a little unfiltered, just so you're aware. It's not PG like it is over here. Anyway, I hope you will check it out. And until next time, ripple on.